Well, g'day curd nerds. G'day curd nerds. Well, 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 g'day curd nerds, and welcome to another Ask the Cheeseman. This is where you can ask your home cheese making questions. I'm your host, Gavin Weber, also known as the Chief Curd Nerd, and I will try my very best to answer them and see how we go. Don't forget, we're also live on, we're live on YouTube. We're also live on 2 Facebook channels and Twitch. And if you found me in those other places, you can still ask a comment, and I should see that in my dashboard. Okay, let's get rid of that. Can we get rid of that? There we go. And we go to the chat. And let's say hello to some people before we start the housekeeping. G'day to, Ian Price at midnight. Oh, crazy. Ruth was the really first person. G'day, Ruth. Lovely to see you, mate. Monique, hello. How are you all the way in Sydney? Cease and the sunny coast up in Queensland. Yeah. Thomas, g'day, Thomas. Lovely to see you, mate. Jim, hello, Jim. Long-time member. Lovely to see you too. Charlie, g'day, Charlie. Just up the road and famous author of the Karanjang Creamy recipe. Annette, hello, how are you? DC Frank, g'day. Liana, hello, Liana. Drew, g'day, Drew. And Drew's got a question in a minute. Yeah, let's have a look. Who else we got? Bill. Bill, g'day, Bill. Manel, we've got Cecilia and Stephen, Townsteading, Addie. We've got Marissa, Robert. Who else? We've got Lindsay. G'day, Lindsay. Windwolf Alpha. G'day, mate. Lovely to see you. Dominique. G'day, Dominique. And Judy and Kevin. And if I've missed any, I'm terribly sorry. Let's have a look. Anybody else? Shara. G'day, Shara. Lovely to see you. Merry Christmas. Thank you, mate. It is coming to that season, isn't it? Indeed. Wendy PJ, g'day Wendy. I think I've already said that, maybe, unless I've forgotten. And what's that? Wood Nymph from New Zealand. All right, very cool. So a bit of housekeeping as we get started. So big shout out to Georgia Frank from the USA who joined the Curd Nerd Academy today. If you want to learn about how to make cheese, and you can pop over to the Curd Nerd Academy at courses.littlegreenworkshops.com.au, and we have a lovely introduction beginners course where you learn to make 9 cheeses and all the basics about cheese making as well. So you can pop over there if you like. I did have a consultation this week, and I think Wendy's online, yes. With Wendy PJ, and we talked about, she had hundreds of questions, and we did a consultation where she paid me, which was great. Thanks for that. And I'm just doing some editing, and we are going to put that together as a podcast episode, which will be found on the podcast channel. Okay. Big thank you to all the financial members, YouTube members and patrons. Thank you very much for your support. There's no new ones this week, but thanks to all the existing ones. And you can tell the YouTube members, if you're in the YouTube chat, all their names are green and they got a little icon next to them. Okay, so as far as cheese goes, straight after the live stream, there will be a premiere for cacio ricotta, which is a basic Italian farmhouse cheese. Very tasty. I've been eating it, and so has Kim. And it is absolutely delicious. And the Curd Nerd light's gone off. Somebody's done the super chat somewhere. Let me just get rid of that. Ruth. G'day, Ruth. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Thank you. Let's just show that before I get onto the cheeses I'm doing. Ruth has said, and $50 US. Goodness me. Thank you very much, Ruth. Says, I'm just getting back from a bad stretch of cheese neglect, so busy and stressed out with other things, cleaning up the wreckage and getting back on track finally. Can you talk about that? Yes, I actually can, Ruth. I have been neglecting some of my cheeses. In fact, I found the Castle Blue that I made. I left the other two in the cheese fridge, and then Kim got sick with her hernia issues, and we had to get that all fixed. For those who didn't know, and then I went and found this Castle Blue, and it was totally black. It wasn't a blue cheese anymore. It was black, and it stunk, and the paste was orange. So what I had to do is take that out, put it in a bin bag, and put it in the bin outside because it really stunk. And to clean out the ripening box, I ran it through the dishwasher once, and it still stank. And then I sprayed it all over with white vinegar and cleaned it in the hot soapy water again. Still stank. So what I had to do was actually make up a weak bleach solution, 2 liters of water or 2 quarts and 20 mils or 1.5 tablespoons of just pure bleach. Mix that up. Let that sit in there and rinse and soak. And then that includes the mat and the lid and the box, and just take that out, and it was all good. So there you go. I have had similar issues, but thanks, Ruth. Anyway, so as I was saying before, cacio ricotta or cacio ricotta premiere is coming up at 9:00. Also in the cheese fridge, we have Gorgonzola, and that is in post-production. Plus, I want to show you the blue mold. It's just started to grow blue mold. So before I release that video, I want to see a bit of blue mold on it, just so you can see, but I won't cut into it because I haven't pierced it. I've got to pierce that in 2 days' time. So that's quite a unique recipe, and it's really good. Now, I just want to share with you the rest of the videos that are coming up. I've got my Trello board for those who haven't seen it, and I will show you what we've got. So, as I said, cacio ricotta over here on the publish promote thing. That'll be happening at 9:00 this morning. So, as soon as this stream ends, everybody who's on the YouTube channel get redirected over. Gorgonzola Dolce, still doing that. Coming up, we've got Fundy Fog from Patricia. That'll be made next weekend. Caciotta, I think that's how you pronounce it, which is another fresh Italian cheese, which I want to give it a go. And Guido's Italian cheese, which is out of Ricky Carroll's book, and there's a recipe for a 8-liter batch over on Learn to Make Cheese, the Facebook group. Other video ideas which we will be making is Ways with Whey. Prima Donna Fino is a Dutch cheese, which is Gouda, but it tastes a little bit like Parmesan. So I'm going to give that a go. Tête de Moine, I'm going to give that a go. Got a recipe for that. Graviera is another hard Italian, Greek cheese. Sorry, not Italian, it's Greek. So I'll give that a go. Types of mold in cheese making, good and the bad. Danbo, Triple Cream, and Jack in the Box. They're the ones I got planned, so that'll be very exciting. I'm looking forward to making some of those, which brings me on to my next point. Little Green Workshops, or Kim and I, will be taking holidays from the 22nd of December. So that's when we start. So the last day of work is the 21st of December, the Tuesday. So Wednesday, the 22nd, is when no more work. And we'll be on holidays until the 16th of January, 2022. I will still be producing videos and vlogs on the vlog channel. So that will be good fun. But yeah, so if you want to order anything from Little Green Workshops, then yeah, pop over to littlegreenworkshops.com.au before obviously the 22nd. So my last shipping day will be the 21st of December until the new year. So if you need to get any supplies, then get them in now. Yeah, I looked at a lot of the other cheese-making shops in Australia online, and they're all shutting down for similar sorts of periods. So, yeah, get your supplies in early. Anyway, that's all of the stuff I wanted to say. So let's get into some of the questions, because that's what we are all about. Marissa says, I just started making cheese and I can't wait to learn more. Well, you're in the right place, Marissa. Manel says, can we coat any cheese with a natural materials? Manel, yes, you can. So you can use vine leaves. You can use nettle leaves. So stinging nettles is another one. There's also a cheese. I can't remember the name of it. There's a cheese from Europe that has spruce bark wrapped around it. And we've got another super chat there. I'll just finish off that and kill the curd nerd lamp. Thank you very much, David. I'll get to you in a second, mate, for the super chat. So, Manuel, yeah, so there's some natural coatings, and you have with those leaf type ones, you've got to blanch the leaves for about 10 seconds in boiling water just to kill off any bacteria or yeast so it doesn't infect the cheese. And then you simply drape those over the cheese and then wrap it up with a bow, maybe a bit of raffia or something like that. And that keeps the cheese intact and actually helps to add a little bit of flavor and some native flora to it. So that'd be very interesting. So there's some things you can do. So grapevine leaves are a great one. Let's have a look at David's super chat. Where is it? David, individual, says, and thank you for the $5 super chat, mate. Government cheese was June Daisy or hoop cheese, mild cheddar, multi-purpose. Could you do a video on making it? Hoop cheese is one of those, I think it's a southern US cheese, and somebody gave me a recipe quite a while ago. So let me just put that down as a suggestion. The government cheese in the US, I think, was during the recession, and it was a mass-produced, kind of like a processed cheese. I do have a video on processed cheeses on the channel, so you can search for that. It's called American cheese. I called it American cheese for want of a better name. But I'll look up. I'm pretty sure there's a recipe for hoop cheese that I have. So thank you very much, David, for that suggestion. Okay, getting back to the other questions. For those who don't know, Kim is not present today. She's not moderating, which is why I've got the sorry, it's another super chat. Thank you, Marissa. Why I have restricted the chat today, because I have no moderator, to subscribers that have been subscribed for 3 hours. It seems to keep away some of the riffraff that sometimes you see on these live streams that not only distract us, but some people are rude. Okay, so where was I up to? Marissa, Marissa super chat $5. Thank you very much, Marissa. Says, I'm about to try making harder cheeses. I'm nervous about waxing. Do you have a vacuum sealer you recommend? There are many good ones on the market. The one I use is by Sunbeam. It's called the Food Saver. It's probably one of the cheapest ones out there. It seems to work. I've had mine for years and haven't had any issues with it. So that works really well, Marissa. So, they're available in Australia. I'm not sure if they're available in the US. If anybody's got any suggestions in the chat of a brand in the US for Marissa, just pop it in there and that'll help her out. Thank you very much, Marissa, for your super chat. David says it was not processed in shouty letters, not the same as American cheese. That's fine. Like I said, I'll find the recipe for hoop cheese, David, and we'll get into that. Okay. There's lots of other questions. Let's have a look. sorry, I will find one. I will find one. We've done Manals. That's great. Lindsay says, "G'day, Gavin, Kim. You haven't lost your West Country burr, Kim." Kim's accent is a funny one, and she was born in Southampton in the south of England. She moved to Redditch, which is mid-country, I think. For those in the UK, you can correct me. But yeah, her accent is a bit of a mix of both from growing up. But she doesn't sound. Her sister sounds like somebody from Hampshire, whereas Kim has a mixture of now. I don't know. It sounds very posh to me, but it's a bit of a mix of Australian. She's got some Australian mannerisms in there as well. So yeah, but thanks, Lindsay. And I think you sent me a note the other day, mate. I'll reply back to that. Sorry about that. Robert says, "Hello, Gavin and Kim." Little Melissa says, "Hello." Hello, Melissa. Hope you're enjoying the channel. That's Robert's very young daughter. Hello. Hope you're enjoying the cheese. And don't forget to say cheese, darling. That's an inside joke. All right. Okay. Judy says, "Good morning from North Queensland. Watched Kim and Gav yesterday whilst making gorgonzola. Great work, guys." Thank you, Judy. And I think Judy's referring to our vlog channel, and there's another super chat. We'll get to that in a second. Thank you for making the Curd Nerd sign go off, and I'll get to you in a second, Wendy. Thank you so much. Judy is referring to our vlog channel, which I will just show. Let me just bring that up if I can find the bloody thing. I got things everywhere. Where is it? Sorry for this. A little bit of a delay. That's not the droids I'm looking for. That one. There we go. Rightio. Oh, it's a little bit small. No, that's too big. And oh, geez, Louise, where's it gone? Having a big screen doesn't always help. There we go. Made it a bit bigger. So this is our vlog channel, Gavin and Kim, our life, our love. And we've been doing a series. So this is my old vlog channel. I rebadged it. Even though all the content's still there and we're doing something similar, we're doing a series at the moment called The Big C. And it's documenting Kim's journey, her breast cancer journey. So if anybody's interested in that, pop over to Gavin and Kim. I don't have a short channel name, but I will copy this, pop it into the chat so everybody gets it on all the platforms that I'm watching. Okay, so that's the link to the vlog channel. If you haven't already subscribed and are interested in the things that Kim and I are doing, then pop on over there and you will learn lots. I learned lots about Kim's presentation skills, which, my goodness, are amazing. Anyway, Wendy has a super chat. Let's get into that. Wendy, thank you so much for your $10 Australian. Didn't have to do that, mate. All right. So the question is, when using goat's milk instead of cow's milk, do you need to alter the amounts of rennet or calcium chloride? Yeah, goat's milk has if you're using raw goat's milk, then the amount of rennet will be fine that it's in the recipes, and always add in the calcium chloride. I certainly will. Goat's milk, the curd structure is a little bit weaker. Now, if you're using pasteurized goat's milk, then the rennet amount I would add a little bit more. Raw milk, maybe add a little bit less. So, up to 10%. But other than that, it should be fine. Unless you're using milk that that may have been ultra pasteurized. So here in Australia, we've got this brand called Capolac. And I think they're now either ultra pasteurizing it or using part milk powder. So, goat's milk powder, and they reconstitute it. So it doesn't really set a very good curd, unless anybody from Caprolac can correct me on that if they're watching. But yeah, just look, stick with the recipe, Wendy. I don't think there's too many troubles. I do have, let me just have a look. There is a little bit here in 200 easy homemade cheese recipes, and they do talk about goat's milk. Let me just see if I got that right. Milk. There we are. Stages of lactation, pasteurization, raw milk, substituting. Right. So, all right. Here's a little tip on goat's milk, just for Wendy. It says goat's milk has a lower pH. That is, it is more acidic than cow's milk. You will need to reduce the amount of rennet. Yeah, I did suggest that. The milk coagulating enzyme that favors an acidic environment. So by 15%. So reduce that. If the recipe calls for 3/4 of a teaspoon, just adjust it down to half a teaspoon. Okay, but yeah, definitely use that same amount of calcium chloride for sure. Okay, another super chat going on there. We'll get to them. Here we go. This is from Annette. Thank you so much, Annette. $10. Whew, thank you so much. My kefili has some blue mold growing on it. I've washed it off, but I know it will come back. Will the blue change the flavor of the cheese? Have I created a new cheese? No, you haven't. It's still kefili. Kefili is one of those fresh cheese. It's very moist. It's a very moist cheese, even though it's got a lot of salt on it. You will find that it grows mold prolifically. If you have a look, I've actually got a video where I had a kefili that was just totally covered in white mold. I called it shaving the cheese. It's on the channel there somewhere, just for a joke. Pardon me. And yeah, it really does attract cheese. And we've got another super chat going there. So thank you so much to Tracy. I'll get to that in a sec. So yeah, it'll grow mold. So keep washing it off. Keep washing the rind. It only goes for 3 weeks. So the rind will dry out, and you'll find that the mold isn't damp anymore. It'll become powdery, and you just brush it off. It's no big deal. You haven't invented a new cheese. Kefili does that. Just it's the way it does. Yeah, so cool. Thanks, Annette. The next super chat is from Tracy, and Tracy, $5 US. Thank you so much, Tracy. Tracy said, I watched your video making keflatiri. You use cow's milk instead of goat sheep's milk. Did that alter the flavor? Yeah, it did. I did add lipase to it. It should really be goat or sheep's milk or a combination of both. Keflatiri, mine didn't really work all that well. It did taste very nice, but I think with goat's milk and sheep's milk, it would have been a lot better. So yeah. Hope that answered your question. Thank you so much, Tracy. Okay, so let's get to Windwolf Alpha says, just a funny one. Gav's really milking it today with the info, isn't he? Oh, I've got so much info. My brain hurts. I wrote a couple of books apparently too. If you're on YouTube, go and check them out. They're in the merch down below. Subtle plug there. All right, somebody, I think James has got a big question, maybe. Jim says, at Gavin Weber, I agree. Kim is radiant and beautiful on camera. Thanks, Jim. Yeah, she is. She's always conscious. She, in the last video, I don't know, part 2, and it'll be part 3, 4, and whatever. She says she didn't like her hair. I said, don't worry about your hair, darling. It's beautiful. Okay, so Liana says, just a note, I really the gallery pick. Oh, I think I really like the gallery picks that show issues when I have a visual of what can go wrong and learn from it. There is actually a pretty good video I made a long time ago, Liana. I don't know if you've seen it. It was called "When Cheese Fails." So go to the channel, go to the little search bar and check that out. And I show all of the disasters I had ages ago. So, okay. Robert says, what are some of the cheesy Christmas traditions that you have? Melissa says hello and cheese. We already talked to Melissa. Thank you again. Some of the cheesy traditions. Well, for Christmas dinner, which is the evening meal for us. No, Christmas dinner is the midday meal for us. That's what we call it. We'll have a roast and all the trimmings and all that sort of stuff. It's just something that's been handed down, even though it's summer here in Australia. For the evening meal, tea time, I'm South Australian, that's what we call it. We normally have something really light. So we'll either have leftovers or we'll have a cheese platter of the cheeses that I've made recently or that I've got stored in the cheese cave or in the normal fridge in Vacpack. So the Christmas that my dad and his partner Norma were here and Adam and my grandchildren were here, what was that, 2019. I had a cheese platter there for after dinner time. So it was just after we had the roast and everything. And I found that people, they ate a little bit, but they didn't eat a lot because they were full. So, yeah, so that's one of our Christmas cheesy traditions. So we do that. Okay. There's another super chat there. This one's from Liana. We'll get to that in a sec. Thank you, Liana. Doesn't the light work so much better now? Where is it? Down the bottom. Down the bottom, Gav. Right, Liana says, and thank you for the $5 US, says, after using brine, how do you know how much salt and water to add to maintain the percentage? What I do, I use the egg method, Liana. So, how do I describe it? I think you would have seen it in the brining video that I made, where I had a raw egg that was, the shell was clean. I made sure it was clean. There was no chook poo on it. So when you float the egg, you'll get, it's about the size of 10-cent piece. What's the same in US currency? A dime. What's the biggest one? A dime or a, no, it's not the biggest. A dime, 10-cent piece. Whatever the 10-cent piece is in the US, I can't remember what it's called. A dime, probably. It's from watching Sesame Street. That's how I know. Yeah, so it'll float. The egg will float, and there's about a dime. So it means it's about 18%. Now, there are salt meters you can get. There are a fraction meter. You put a drop of the brine into it, and you hold it up to the sunlight, and it tells you what the percentage of brine is. You can buy those. They're expensive. Cheesemakers do use them to check the brine. But what I normally do is, even without doing the egg test thing, what I do, I just put 2 tablespoons of salt into the brine, and that tops it up because it absorbs about that much anyway, each cheese, after I use it. So there you go. And as far as pasteurizing the brine, I do bring the brine to a boil again after I've used it to kill any beasties off. Let that cool down again totally before I use it again. So that way you don't get any Brevibacterial linens infections. If it starts to stink or smell odorous, then just salt's cheap. Just make some more. Okay. Thank you, Liana. Now let's. We do have some more questions up here that I'm sure I've missed. And there's another super. My goodness, you're so generous today, everybody. And Thomas, it looks like you're. I don't know what's going on. I think you might need a new browser or something, mate. I don't know what browser you're using, but anyway. But thank you for your super chat, Thomas. There's no comment, but leave one down below and I'll show it and I'll answer it. Okay, so that it's time for the gallery. Let's get that up. Where is it, Gav? the gallery. Find it. There we are. Rightio. So let's make this one bigger. So this is a ale and mustard cheese, and this is from Anna. And let's pull up Anna's little notes. So Anna says, hi, Gav. I hope you are well. I just wanted to share with you the photos of the mustard and ale cheese I made following your video shortly after you posted it. I left it 9 weeks maturing, and as I commented on your YouTube channel, I found that leaving the cheese air for about 30 minutes before eating it would make the ale flavor milder. Anyway, thanks for all your tutorials. I'm learning a lot and enjoying the process of making my own cheese. It's a bit flat, as the only mold with a follow I had was a 24 centimeter one. I have now bought a 15 centimeter one, so probably the next pressed cheese I'll make will look less flattish. And I think you've got another, let me just take that down. It's a little small again. You've got another picture there. Hopefully everybody can see that. I'll just make it a bit bigger. The resolution is not the best, but there it is. Thank you very much, Anna. I really appreciate you sending in those photos, and that looks really nice. The mustard seeds throughout. It's a great cheese. In fact, I got some in my cheese fridge here in the studio here. Right, so we got some information from Bill, and Bill sent in some smoking tips. So Bill's got a little smoker doofer here, or doohickey. Let's have a look. So it says, g'day and howdy, Gavin. Thanks, mate. On the stream today, there was talk of smoking cheese. Here are some pictures. When I did it last, it's been a while. I bought a smoking tube on Amazon. It was about $10 to $15 US. And I got some smoking pellets. I use a heat gun to start the pellets, fairly cheap. You light them up, let them burn, and blow out the flame. I have a smoker that I put my cheese in and let it go for 3 to 4 hours. It needs to be cold smoked. So I do mine in the winter here in Texas. If you do it while it's warm, the cheese can melt. Here's the smoke tube filled and lit. Once you blow out the flame, it puts out a lot of smoke for a surprisingly long time, a couple of hours. Just put it in your grill or smoking box or whatever you have to smoke in. Do not light the grill. Right, so there's another picture. Okay, so this is Bill's cheese, and he's got eggs, smoked eggs. I didn't even know you could do smoked eggs. So these are all bought cheeses. It don't have to be your own. You can smoke any cheese. It's no big deal. But here's a result. I think this is like a, looks like a Dutch cheese. No, not Dutch. Like an Emmentaler or something like that. It says, I get the most out of my smoking sessions. I have smoked cheese, salt, spritz with water to get the smoke to absorb, hard-boiled eggs, and throw the tube in when doing a brisket or a chicken for a hot smoke. Always enjoy your streams. They challenge me to try something new. Love to you and Kim. Regards, Bill Nelson. Thank you so much, Bill, and thank you for the lovely smoking tips. All right, so the next photo is from Cease, and Cease has a platter here. She's got some notes. Where's my notes for Cease? There it is. Cease says, the cheese I asked you to talk about last week with the air bubbles in it healed itself. So no picture about that. But here is a Leicester. Oh, did I get a mix them up? There it is. Here's a Leicester that has probably been in the cheese cave for about 18 months. This cheese did teach me to use labels and not just write on the plastic with a simple Sharpie. And the other is a cheese tray or cheese platter. So basically I chuck some cheese onto a cutting board and call it a cheese tray. The cheese, hang on, let me just go back again. The cheese at 1 o'clock, this one, is a double Gloucester. And then going clockwise, there's a Jack cheese, a Cotswold, and a dry Jack, and some fish. Looks like smoked salmon. Looks fine. That's what I'd eat. Nothing too fancy. It looks fantastic. The dry Jack, all stirred too much and aged too long since I like it dry, sharp, and crumbly. And my husband eats whatever he gets. What is provided? Good. Cheers, Cease. All right, thanks, Cease. Great photos. Really, there. I love a good cheese platter. All right, that's yours as well. This one's from Jacob. And what's Jacob have to say for himself? Says, hello, hi, Gavin. My name is Jacob Maguire. G'day, Jacob. I'm a long-time viewer. I saw your post calling for submissions for the cheese gallery, and I thought I'd pass mine along. This is a deliberately underage ricotta salata. I made ricotta with vinegar as the acid and then pressed it and let it air dry for 3 days until a rind developed. I don't have a fridge for aging, so I was curious to see if it would come out all right, and it was amazing. Definitely would recommend it to any fellow beginners. Thanks for all the great tutorials over the years, and all the best to you and Kim. Cheers, Jake. Thank you, Jake. Appreciate it, mate. And it's a pretty good looking cheese, but that's a funky angle. So I do like the little rind on the outside. Is there another one? Oh, there's another one at a funky angle. But yeah, you can distinctly see, and I don't know if you can see my cursor, but there's the rind, and it's quite thick. But yeah, a great looking cheese. Well done. All right. The next one is from Jeff. And does Jeff have something to say? Yes, he does. Jeff says, hi, Gavin. I have 2 pictures for your gallery. The first picture is of 4 bloomy rind cheeses before they are wrapped in cheese paper. And let's just zoom in. They have a great coating, don't they? Bloody lovely. Look at that. Fantastic. Well done, mate. I hope they tasted good. And you've got a Tallagio there. So the second picture is of a young Tallagio that still needs a few weeks of aging. If you look close, you may be able to see the bee linens populating the grooves on the surface. I took these pics on my phone. Hope they turn out all right for your gallery. Wishing you and your family a happy holiday season from Pennsylvania. JP. Thank you, Jeff. Let's zoom in and have a look at the bee linens. We've got the resolution for it. Oh, we have. Look at that. You can see the bee linens in the grooves. This is a special mat that comes with the Tallagio mold, which emulates the reeds that the Italians use for making Tallagio. So, yeah, so that's really good. And I have yet to, I've got a Tallagio mold, but I haven't got the reed mat, so I'm going to have to pick that up somewhere. But yeah, that's pretty good. And finally, we've got Ruth. And Ruth says, happy holidays, cheese on earth, health, joy, and love. That's a label, I think, she made for a cheese. But yeah, thank you, Ruth. That looks really lovely. And I love the way that the map of the world is cheese. It's what else? Why wouldn't it be? There's a picture of Ruth's kefili that she made with cranberries. On the label, it says coal miners' holiday kefili, the fave of the Welsh coal miners with a jingle of cranberries. Indeed, jingle. That's a lot of cranberries, but it looks really nice. Hope it tasted good, Ruth. And there's the label again. I think Welsh is spelled WELSH, but that's okay. They won't mind. And this is, I think, and Ruth didn't say, well, it's a Morbier. Sorry, it's up on the label there. So this is Ruth's Morbier that she made. Looks very crumbly, but yeah, I bet it tasted delicious, Ruth. Well done. Okay, do you have any more pictures? I think that's it. Yeah, it is. It is. That's it for the gallery. Thank you so much, everybody, for sending your photos in. If you want to send a photo in, let me see if I can get this correct. We've got Sherry screens again. You go to the Gavin Weber cheese channel. This is me. You know, look for the cheesy bit up here. This is Gavin Weber. Don't be fooled by any imitations. And go to the About tab. Now, this only works on the desktop. So go down to the About tab and go down here where it says Details for Business Inquiries. And you've got to be signed in with your Google account. And sign in, and there will be my email address. And that's where you send the photos for the gallery. No other email address, not on Facebook, just this email address. That's the only one I check for photos. So, yeah, send them there, and I will be greatly grateful. Grateful is the word I'm looking for. So, yeah, very cool. All righty. So back to the questions. I'm sure we've got some more. Don't forget that we've only got 20 minutes left of this stream, and then we chop over to the cacio ricotta, or cacio ricotta, however you say it in Italian. My goodness. We've got some more questions here. I'm sure we have that weren't super chats. Hopefully I haven't missed any super chats. No. Right, here's a question. This one's from Fun Pants 94. How often do you find yourself making cheese? Do you make regular wheels for you and Kim, or do you primarily make new recipes for videos? If I've got an excess of milk and and I want to get rid of some that I know is going to go off soon, then I'll make some very simple cheeses, like queso fresco is one of a favorite fresh cheese of mine. But I think cacio ricotta, which you'll see soon, is definitely a favorite because I really like the flavor of it, and it's so simple to make. So yes, if we've got an excess of milk, we'll do that. But primarily, because I'm making so many different types of cheese, there is always cheese in the cheese fridge, ready to just pull out, that's been aging, and that's what we eat, the stuff that I've made. So variety is the spice of life, as we all know. And yeah, we try new cheeses all the time. Now, if we've got a favorite commercial cheese, we'll go and buy that and put it in our normal fridge and pull it out on a cheese platter with some of my cheeses. But I don't regularly go back and make a cheese unless it's Cotswold or Caerphilly. They're the two main ones that I'll remake over and over, and they're really tasty, and they're only because they're some of Kim's favorites. So that's the reason why. But thank you, Fun Pants. Great question. Alrighty. James, this is massive. I don't know if it's all going to come up on the screen, so no, it probably won't. So let's try. It says, hi, Gavin. I've been enjoying making the buttermilk cheese. It's a real crowd pleaser. I've been having problems, though, from time to time. When I use a narrow mold, I don't have issues. When I use a 9-inch mold, let me just see if I can read the rest of it. And every time I make the blue, there's a problem. I use sushi mats for space. Sometimes there's a fair bit of liquid, which I drain. The cheese seems to go rancid in smell. Could it be related to the mold, or more likely just sitting in the way too often? Yeah, so if it sits in the way, the blue mold won't grow and the cheese starts to, kind of rot. Use a smaller mold. Use that small one. It's 6 inches. That's definitely the same size as mine, 165 millimeters. So that works perfectly. I never had any issues with mine either. It grew some funky mold on the outside, which it's supposed to, but it should never, ever sit in way. That extra moisture just does weird things to the cheese. So thank you, James. Okay, George. Oh, gee, long time no see, George. I finally made it for live for the first time in months. G'day, Gavin and Kim. Thank you, George. Drew says, hi again, Gavin. Can I make whole milk ricotta with goat's milk? If so, would I have to do anything differently? No, it will work. And as I read out before, the goat's milk is a little bit more pH, the more acidic, only slightly. But yeah, the acid method or lemon juice will work with goat's milk, equally the same. You'll find that the curds are very, very fine. So make sure when you drain it that you use tight weave cheesecloth or butter muslin, and you'll find that'll capture all of the very tiny grains of curd. So that's the only thing I'd do different. Okay. This one's from Beauty Fox 66. Lovely to see you. Lovely to see you over on the vlog channel as well. Hey, Gav, back again. My question, I made a Shropshire Blue. I did only dry the curds out for 6 hours and it's still moist and seems to be holding together. It's been 7 hours since molded at midnight. Well done, because that was my biggest challenge. I made it twice and it happened both times. But yeah, you've fixed it. Well done. Manel said, I suggest making a cheese on Brunost cheese. It's a Norwegian cheese. Let me just put that on my list. I will research, see if I can find a recipe, mate. If I can find a recipe, then I'll put it on my video ideas on my Trello page. Okay. FunPants94 says, what are some pieces of cheese making equipment that isn't required to make cheese, but you wish you had bought sooner than you did? Example being a horizontal curd cutter. Yeah, the curd cutter does save a lot of time, especially for cheeses that have half-inch cube sizes, which are a lot of the hard and semi-hard cheeses. I wish I had one of those earlier. The one piece of equipment that isn't required for cheese making, but has made my life so much easier, and that is the precision cooker, the sous vide machine thingy. Sorry, it is amazing, because when I'm making, especially when I'm making videos, because there's a lot of things going on, right? Not only the cheese, but I've got to make sure I'm hitting the record button when I'm supposed to and all that good stuff. Just being able to set the temperature of the water bath just a couple of degrees higher than it should be for the milk, because the milk doesn't always heat up as much as the water bath. Just having to set that and forgetting about the temperature and just enjoying the cheese making process, it has changed my life. Really has. So precision cooker, if you haven't got one, do the water bath thing with it. Forget about the pot on the pot, even though that worked for years and years. And I had that down pat because I was so experienced at it. Get a precision cooker. Goodness me. It just works. Okay. Mark says, why would feet smell like cheese? Or would it be the other way around? Reason being is that your feet have, between the toes, a bacteria called Brevibacteria linens, which is the same culture that is on washed rind cheeses. There you go. I don't know how they got on the cheese from your feet, but it happens. Okay. All right. Somebody new I haven't seen before. Grawl. Hello, Gavin, and everybody in the chat. Hello. Lovely to see you. I can just say that David's a funny bugger, because he says, didn't mean to shout, and he shouted again. That's hilarious. All righty. Another person I haven't seen before, Mr. Bones Barbecue. Howdy from Kansas territory, way out here on the windswept prairie. Lovely to see you, Mr. Bones Barbecue. All right, DC Frank has a stupid novice question. There's no such thing as a stupid novice question, mate. All questions are fair game on this channel. But can you control the firmness or softness of a cheese you're making, or is it depending on the type of cheese you're making? Okay, so I think you're talking about the moisture content. So the moisture content of a cheese is determined by the size of the curd cut. So how big you cut the curds, how long you've renneted the cheese for, so how long it's been coagulating, and the acidity of the milk as well. So, yeah, you can regulate that. And that's why there's different types of cheese, which have different firmness. You'll find that the softer cheeses have very large curd sizes, or don't get cut at all. Like Normandy Camembert doesn't get cut. It just gets skimmed off. Same as Brie, and it gets scooped into hoops. No cutting, very little whey expelled, and it just naturally oozes out whey out of the curd. However, you look at something like Parmesan, or the cheese that shall not be mentioned, the cheese and desist cheese. I cut the curds first with the curd cutter, and then I use a balloon whisk and stab it until all of the curds are broken up into rice grain sized pieces. And as you stir the curds, they shrink even smaller. And that is a very hard cheese. So it's all about the curd size. So great question. All right. John says, someone asked about using kefir for culture. I've been using it for a couple of years and it works great. Yeah, so that's a good tip, John. And you can get recipes out of David Asher's book called The Art of Natural Cheese Making. And yeah, he has lots of recipes about using kefir grains for cheese making, and he uses raw milk specifically. Aga, who I haven't seen for ages and lives in Spain, says, hello, Webbo. Hello, mate. Right, so Jen says, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too, Jen. Thank you very much. Julia says, hi, Gavin. I asked you a while ago about feta brining as I felt it was too salty. I was using 10% and wanted to try, I was using 12% and wanted to try 10%. I did, and it was 10 times nicer. Thanks for your advice. I think with feta, if you aren't overly impressed with the high salt content of it, you can go down to as much as an 8% brine as well. There's a post over on my blog, Little Green Cheese. If you go to Little Green Cheese post and type in salt, using salt in cheese, there's a table of percentage of brine, how much salt to add to 1 litre of water, and you get your percentage, so that helps. Judy says, and we've got 9 minutes to go. Ewes made by a cow for the first time yesterday for gorgonzola had an enormous amount of curds. How do you work out how much salt to add? So it depends on the cheese. Usually it's between 2 and 2.7%, depending on the cheese, how salty you want it. But that 2% is the lowest amount you should ever add, because otherwise the bacteria will consume all of the lactose during the aging period and make it quite acidic and bitter. So yeah, the amount of salt has to be minimum 2%, max 2.7% by weight of curd. So you weigh the curd before you add the salt to it. Okay. Aga says, how's the visit my Parmesan factory thing going? He's referring to the cease and desist letter I got from the Grana Padano consortium, who, after offering an apology of sorts, they invited me to go to Italy and tour the Grana Padano facilities there from one of the consortium's factories. I have yet to take up that offer. Mikkel says, Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you, Mikkel. Who else we got? Chris has a question around caraway seeds. Says, hi, Gav. How can I add caraway seeds to a washed rind? In France, they have a Munster with caraway. Great soft washed rind cheese, but how do they add the caraway without losing oil or moisture? Okay, so this is how I think they do it. So make sure the caraway seeds have been boiled for about 5 minutes, just in a little bit of water, and that would get rid of any yeasts and molds on them. Add the caraway seeds to the curds and give them a good stir through before you mold up the cheese. And I've got a little doggo who wants to say hello because it's nearly time to go. That's what I do anyway, Chris. I hope that works out for you. Manel says, what is the best pH of farmhouse cheddar cheese when I remove the whey after the cook the curd? I don't use pH in a lot of my recipes, Manel, so I don't know the answer to that. Sorry, mate. Yeah. Winwolf Alpha says a 10-cent piece is indeed the dime here. Thanks, mate, for letting me know that. And lots of taste test. The gallery comments. It's great. Dwayne says, what is your favorite cheese with dried herbs, dried fruit, or dried vegetables? I think some of my favorite ones are the ones with chili in them. I like the chili brie. The petite chili brie was one of my favorites with chili in it. Great texture. I did like the white Stilton with apricots. That was nice. Could have had a little bit of sugar to it to make it a little bit more flavor, but that was good. But yeah, so all good. And what else? Oh, there's been so many. I've enjoyed them all, honestly. So they've been really good. Alrighty. So I actually have to finish the stream because Hamish is hassling me here. He wants to go out. What I'll do, I'll just quickly. This is live, real live. Here we go. Bye. Quick, outside for wheelies. Let's go. Quick. Come back in when you're finished. Well, at least I held on that long, is all I can say. Sorry about that. Oh, we got a comment from Chris saying, you made Brunost. It's the same as Myost. Oh, there you go. Thank you very much, mate. I think one's made with cow's milk whey and the other one's made with goat's milk whey. There you go. Hopefully that answered somebody's question. That was good. There are... Nicola says, I wish I had this problem. Sorry, running late again. Had to milk the goats first. Of course you do. But thanks, Nicola. And as James has said, it's time to say, hit that like button. If you liked the video, or if you're on Facebook, give it a thumbs up, all that stuff. Twitch, I don't know what you're doing there, but have fun there. But thank you very much, everybody. Yes, it is time to go. And like I said, our shop, littlegreenworkshops.com, does shut on the 22nd. That's our first day of holidays. So get in on before the 21st. If you do order on the 21st, I will ship on the 22nd. So if you want your cheese making supplies, get them over at littlegreenworkshops.com.au. Lots of goodies there. We've got a fair bit of stock still. And I've got some more coming if I haven't got what you want. But I think all the cultures are in stock, so that's a good thing. Okay, and if you want any merch, if you're not on the on YouTube, where there's the merch shelf down below, you can pick up my 2 ebooks, Keep Calm and Make Cheese and Keep Calm and Make More Cheese. Great recipes in there from the channel, including links to all the videos that those recipes have. But if you're not, you can go to cheesemantv.creator-spring.com. That's my merch store over there. Very cool. All right. So we will see. If you're on YouTube, you will jump, or you'll be asked if you want to go and watch the cacio ricotta. I'll be there in the comments, typing away, answering any questions that you may have, but watching it along with you on the premiere. So until next week, Kim says she is definitely going to be on the stream next week, as in the moderator. And when we get to the 200th one, we got some surprises going on there, the 200th episode. So that will be, could be in the new year, I think. It's only 4 episodes away. But yeah, that's going to be fantastic. Anyway, thanks, everybody. And I will see you next week. Of course I will, because that's what we do here on Us and Cheeseman. All right, see you, Curd Nerds. Bye-bye.